Hello Whovians and welcome back to the main channel. Today we're doing a special type of video. As in, we've done this type of video before, but I just wanted to utilise some information from TARDIS Wikipedia so that we've got accurate information and we've got some extra detail, because I was rewatching, and I mentioned this the other day, Doctor Who Confidential, and I think the episode's called Utopia, where we see Sir Derek Jacobi playing this man who turns out to be the Master, but he regenerates into John Sims. Now, I haven't heard the War Master audios yet. They're on the list. So I don't know much about the War Master. I think he is one of the Big Finish characters that they've... So basically, right, I think that Big Finish got the rights to Derek Jacobi and made him the War Master. He wasn't, I don't think he was called the War Master ever on TV, and Derek Jacobi wasn't on TV long enough as the Master, you know, after he opened the Chameleon the Fogwatch, sorry, and then regenerated. He wasn't really on TV much as himself, as the War Master. So, the TARDIS Wikipedia will tell us that information to work out whether or not, really, should we use... There's a video, and I can't remember who it's off, who made it, and it's really interesting about the timeline of the Master, because obviously the Master had several bodies due to several different facts, like the TV film, the whole thing with the Master trying to find a vessel to look after, and then obviously different elements have occurred. So the Master's had a trickier life than the Doctor, even with the Fugitive Doctor, even with the Morbius Doctors, even with the War Doctor. Three things have not affected the Doctor that bad, but the timeline with the Master is gone haywire, because you don't know who's who, because of obviously Missy being shot, and Missy being the female Master called Missy. It was a whole complicated thing. So, let's read out this information and find out who is the War Master. So this video is just called the War Master, right? I'm going to call it the War Master for more of an emphasis, even though the character is just called War Master. I just think for this video's sake, let's just use the word the. So, let's first off by reading the biography of the character. War Master. Species. Time Lord. We knew that. It's planet of origin, Gallifrey, we knew that. The first mention in Meet the Doctor. First appearance, Utopia. Main actor, Sir Derek Jacobi. Other voice actors, Paul McGann. Didn't know that. The perfect warrior for the last great time war. The Master, the War Master, initially tried to manipulate the conflict to suit his own goals. That sounds very much like the Master. However, after his failure to properly use the heavenly P-A-R-A-D-I-G-M, the Master was driven to such a state of terror that he fled to the end of the universe, which is where the toy maker and Maestro come from in the world of Disney funded Doctor Who. I don't want to call it new Who, but I think it's just called Series 14. There's 60 specials in Series 14. So they are from the ends of the universe, because Flux, even though technically the end of the universe is the end of the universe, Flux are messed up with that. So a lot of the issues from Flux are caused the toy maker and Maestro and probably many other villains to actually appear in the show. Anyway, back to our core information. Then we'll skip and scooch through this, so we don't be here for 4 years. This isn't Open the Villain's Vault, which was a radio series I did for my university radio station, but I uploaded it to YouTube as well. I am going to bring that back. I'm just trying to think of how to do it in a visual format. So as right now, I'm talking about excess information. Right now, I'm using some knowledge of my own to counterbalance with this, so that I'm not just sat there going, Because that's what you don't want. That's why I don't really want to do a visual version of Open the Villain's Vault, because all you'll see is this. And you don't want that at all. That's my impression of reading a lot of text. Anyway, back to what we were looking at. Now, moving on a little bit, so that we're not here all day. The biography is obviously, it's the Master. The Master was employed by Narvin to go to the planet Chloros to find the rare metal. The Master went... So, what we're getting at is that the Master was driven to become the War Master. I think it's like Paul McGann being forced to drink the potion in Night of the Doctor to say, I am now the War Master. It was to help the Time War. I think all of this is technically to help, other than the War Master trying to alter reality and alter things, right? So, joining the Time War, the Master eventually recruited by the Time Lords to fight in the Time War, as they foresaw he would be the perfect warrior for such a conflict. TV episode, The Sound of the Drums. He fought in the Battle of Keetil and helped the Time Lords make one of their first victories. Now, The Sound of the Drums is a very... I mean, John Sim was in Life on Mars previous to this, and he was really good at it. And trust me, he would have made a fantastic Doctor, because of Life on Mars being this time travel-esque type program. Him as the Master is incredible, but you don't really learn much about him when he was a War Master. You sort of try and learn more about his past as a child. I know that in America they were trying to do a spin-off of Doctor Who called Young Doctor, like Young Sheldon, but for Doctor Who, and that didn't work. It didn't make it past the idea stage of, here's the title, here's the idea. So as we travel further, a lot of this is more, here's some information about the War Master. Yes, here's it from an audio drama rather than visual, because we didn't get much Derek Jacobi on TV. Could we? That's the issue. Could we? By this point in time, probably not. But if we have to sort of try and find an area where we can fit him in. We could do a series on the Master. I don't know. There is a really good BBC series that I always thought was made by W, because that's when I watched it on the 50th. For the 50th anniversary, I never watched it on the BBC, this series, that I want to mention. But what I did watch on W, which was Watch at the time, they did a Doctor Who day, where they were showing like the Peter Cushing films, the black and white, well, the William Hartnell stuff, Paul McGann's episode, well, TV film. It was called Doctor Who Revisited, and you can available to watch it through BritBox on ITVX Premium. So if you buy ITVX Premium, you get BritBox. And with that, you can watch that series. I don't think it'll ever come to the BBC iPlayer. That I could be wrong, but I highly doubt it. So, what we come to the conclusion in this episode, is that the War Master is a master that's been coerced to join the Time War. He's been manipulated to join the Time War. He has been forced to join the Time War. He has not been forced to take the potion and be the War Master. He already was Derek Jacobi already, but because of the trauma and because of all what happened, and I think that's why he fled and tried to get rid of his memory, because of the trauma he faced, and that's how come he appeared in Utopia. So, to round off this video, to give my brief final things, we'll say one last thing which could work, is lost regeneration. At the point during the Time War, the Master regenerated into the body of a small, dark-haired child, which was in the comic The Organ Grinder. Yeah, the comic Organ Grinder. After having his TARDIS brought into the Time Warp from the future, the Child Master tried to escape from the CYCLORS with it, causing a paradox, right? The Master was forced back into the war incarnation and lost all memory of his abandoned successor due to the paradox. Comic Fast Asleep. The Master's TARDIS recorded that the Master fled the event horizon in the TARDIS before the Doctor's plans were carried out, deeming them too insane even for him. Comic 1. Now, that's interesting because Big Finish, comics and TV have all used the Masters. TV has had less of a linear line of who is who with the Master. Big Finish added actors to play the Master, and the comics have obviously done that as well. So I think one day we should do a video or do something where we chronologically try and understand the timeline of the Master, and then we'll utilise it to do a spin-off video from that going, here's my favourite Masters. Obviously I've got a favourite Big Finish Master and a favourite TV Master. They are two separate things because the Big Finish Masters are brilliant. There's an audio called Masterful which celebrates 50, I think it's like the 50 or 30 years of the Master, because the first time we saw the Master was in the Jon Pertwee era. So, there you have it. That is more about who is the War Master, a bit of my opinion on the matter. Do I like the War Master? I do in concept. Well, I like him when I listen to the War Master audios? Probably, because Sir Derek Jacobi is a phenomenal actor. He was fantastic in Utopia, and I can't wait to hear him in more Doctor Who. And I'd just like to admit, when I say it was fantastic in Utopia, I mean the episode, not the British Channel 4 series and not the Amazon Prime American remake. So, there you have it. Thank you guys for watching. Time to talk about. Bye! Would I head off that way?
Don't forget to subscribe to the official Tom Mason YouTube channel.